Okay, we're recording. But why do I look like I'm not in the middle? I don't know. Okay, now I am. Okay. Hi, Shane. Today's Friday.
Today is Friday, isn't it?
Today is Friday. Yeah. So we're going to start a new thing, right? Our happy hour Friday.
Yes, we're gonna do a happy hour Friday most definitely.
Yes.
Because you know what?
Yes.
You need a drink after a long week.
Yeah,
Drink.
yeah, yeah. And then we're going to combine two of our favorite things other than our kids and our spouses,
That's
talking
funny.
and drinking.
Facts. All
So,
that.
all right. Man, I'm hot. Who are we, Shane?
Man, who are we? We are two seasoned corporate veterans who are here to pass along the trauma that we received in a manner that you can find funny and hopefully that you can learn from as well. So you don't go repeat the same mistakes that we made.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. So, our our hot topics of the week.
I mean,
Some people just won't. Some people want all the all the attention.
all the attention, right? You can't just let other people have some shine. Just let
Right.
it, right? This week has given us, we have some really good things to talk about this week. Some things that we thought were pressing, but then, uh, for instance, earlier this week, the Ralph Lauren had the little polo pin that was like the colors of the black flag.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
We'll have
Have
to
anyone seen this like this? So
we'll
Ralph
have
Lauren
to put some
did that
pictures
to
up.
show unity. Yeah, yeah. We'll add it to our to show unity. They created a black, red, and green pin with a little polo with a black polo man on it. Oh my gosh, they thought they were doing something.
But you know what? I know I sent you, uh, or you sent it to me. So I'm just gonna see if I have it right here on my phone. I don't know if people will really. Yeah, you can see
Right
it.
there it is, most definitely.
Yeah.
Boom.
So yeah,
There's
this is
that.
what he created. But that's he also took Andre 3000's little throwback. Remember 2008, Andre 3000 came out with that fashion line. It was all throwback, like imagine Bagger Vance. You know what I mean? It was very whatever year that like 40s, very 40ish, very stylish, like almost like 40/50ish, like collegiate style. And it was it didn't hit because first of all, it was not a pandemic. It was a recession, so people weren't going out buying stuff. So who decided to revive that same type of collection? Ralph Lauren.
Why not?
Um, yeah, either earlier this year or last year. So, but the crazy thing is that we will buy Ralph Lauren stuff.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely still buy stuff, and that's just kind of how the industry goes. Because earlier this week, well, not earlier this week, but we saw that one of the designs, a black designer, had a shirt that said one of his black designs said "free" on it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and then was it Balenciaga stole that?
somebody. And then you see Puffy in it. Like he went to a party. He went to a party with Kardashians and stuff.
Yeah,
And they're like, "Oh, where'd you get that sweatshirt?" And the next thing Puffy's rocking it. Other people rocking it that they paid like some astronomical amount for, and it wasn't the dudes. It was like some, the designer had taken that. And but how
man.
do you? Yeah, yeah.
I guess when you're a small designer, I think you see that a lot online. You see these small designers get mad when you see like large companies kind of duplicate the designs that they put online to show off their skills, and then big designers come in and be like, yeah, let me get that real
Right. Or the name, like there's a Kim Kardashian has one of her businesses. There's a business, a small black owned business in New York that has the same name,
quick. Yep,
and she's trying to trademark the name, but it's already
they're
being
already there.
used.
Exactly.
And I think that person that trademarked it, if I'm not mistaken.
Hopefully they did. Hopefully we all learn from
Yeah.
Cardi B. If something's popping, you trademark it.
Right.
You never heard somebody say "occur" again. You don't see "occur" just popping up nowhere. And
Right.
it's a
I
trademark.
do hear the noise though. People make the
Yeah.
noise, but I guess they can't trademark a noise, a sound. Can you? Say you can't make a sound?
Maybe make it sound kind of like it, but not the exact same thing.
Right. Yeah. So
No,
what's
so
your what's your t-shirt say? Doppelganger?
oh yeah, so it's the doppelganger. So we all have that doppelganger. You have your two sides. You have a nice con.
Oh. Yeah, I have my that side with the doll dragon. That was me the other day. I was like a dungeon dragon. I mean, I did that TikTok or reel or whatever with the person who didn't have the degree, which
Yeah,
that wasn't the story. It was the fact that she lied about it. Um, and Ariel's supposed to be she's supposed to be my TikTok,
he's your
you know,
social
my
consultant.
social media guru. Because who better to ask the teenager, you know, to
Who
do
else,
that stuff.
right?
So, but it was so many clips. I was like, put them together, Ariel. But let's make them let's make it 3 parts because it was too long because people don't have the attention for that.
Sure
And so
don't.
she's doing it, but then she posted out of order. I said, that's one and then three. Oh, how do you fix it? I have to undo it and do it again. I'm like, my phone was about to die. It took forever. And I was like, oh, I was so mad. I'm never mad. I'm literally never like mad. And I was, or like, what was that? Remember that Cosby Show episode when they said, "Mom, are you mad? Are you angry?" Because she said dogs are mad. Remember? Did you ever
Yep.
see it?
Yeah.
Like, are you? And they made this whole thing up, and then they're like, "Are you angry?" She said, "No, I'm mad." Like I was mad. Oh, then she fixed it, and then I was like, "I'm sorry, Ariel." Like I was like, "You're fired." Meanwhile, I haven't paid her.
But she,
Yep. So anyway,
she's come back
all
around.
right. What else? What else
She's
is
been
going
great.
on?
Be your social media consultant. Maybe need to pay her for it.
Yeah, I do. I pay her in candy and snacks and bathing suits. I pay her in clothes.
Run the checks, run them checks, man.
Yeah.
She'll do a
Well,
better job.
yeah, maybe.
Man, so what else is going on? Jackson, Mississippi. That kind of sucks, man. To this day, Jackson, Mississippi is still going through a very, very heavy water crisis. So it is said that the heavy rainfall that occurred, in fact, they call it historic proportions of rainfall.
Maybe they should call it biblical.
Yeah, biblical proportions of rainfall flooded the Mississippi Pearl River, and a key pump at the O.B. Curtis water treatment plant, which provides the capital city with its drinking water, was unable to keep up with all the rainfall, causing severe drop in water pressure, which still leaves 150,000 residents without safe drinking water. It's so bad that, in fact, it's you've been told if you shower,
Oh my
don't let
gosh.
any water get into your mouth.
Really? Now, I
I'm,
told you I talked to somebody there 2 days ago
yeah,
because, we're trying to set up our stuff for at HBCUs. And so I called Jackson State and I was like, "Hey, I said, do you have water?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, I guess there was still some trouble at the facility at her office. And she's like, I haven't used gone in the restroom today to run water to see. But, and I said, "Well, how's your water pressure at home?" And she said it was fine. But I didn't think like you may have water, but is it safe?
yeah.
Is it safe?
If they tell you to keep your mouth shut when
Yeah.
you are when you go ahead and take a shower, then you might want to go
That's
ahead.
like in Mexico. I know you didn't watch. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't watch Sex and the City, right? You didn't watch
No,
that.
yeah, I watched that in sir.
Did you watch the first movie? Remember when they go on Carrie's when
Oh, I never
Carrie?
watched the movies though. I watched the
Okay.
series, but I didn't watch the movies.
So they go to Mexico and they tell them don't drink the water. And so, well, they don't say don't drink the water, but Charlotte is like, she's not drinking water. She brought her own water. She bought like stuff to eat, like pudding
Yeah.
cups, like, and then she's taking a shower and she was taking a shower and she forgot and she opened her mouth and water got in and then she got Montezuma's revenge.
Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I mean sometimes that's a very real thing. Don't drink.
So yeah, like what if this don't let the water get in your mouth? I wouldn't bathe in it. I just have to figure something else out. Like what?
Yeah, and then we had what else is going on this week? Probably the biggest thing, Wait, before we jump to that one, you about to say something?
No, I
Okay,
don't think
cool.
so.
So yesterday we had the Queen's death.
Yeah.
Elizabeth died yesterday at 96 years old.
96. But you know what is not funny, but George Stephanopoulos last night, or he was on, because they of course they, broke in and preempted all the other shows. And he said, "Why are y'all saying y'all were surprised? She was 96." I was so glad he said that. How were you surprised?
I
She
think
was
because
96.
they've spent so much time, allegedly kidnapping folks and harvesting organs to make people live as long as possible, i.e. Rothschilds and Rockefellers, that they're surprised when somebody just dies in their 90s or whatnot. But Queen Elizabeth died,
Like some Get Out, stuff.
exactly, right? And so we had beautiful, diverse reactions to this death. We had the persons who loved the royal family and the Queen, and they were
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad that she seemed like a pistol, and I mean, would have lost her family and anyone who loved her. So I mean, that's how I feel with anybody. when anybody passes. So
I don't. No, I'm good. And then you had, the realists who were like, look at that. The head of the British colonial uh, monarchy is dead, and good riddance, right?
well, they got more. They make more. So there's one right after. There's more
Yeah,
where she came from.
and Black Twitter went off. So if you're not familiar with Black Twitter, you have a Twitter account. Go to Twitter, type in hashtag Black Twitter, and let the fun begin. Just read some of the tweets.
I've never done that. I'm going to do that too. So you just
Oh
go to
yeah,
Black. Wait a minute. You do
yeah. My wife didn't
hashtag Black
understand that.
Twitter.
That's what you gotta do. Yeah, go on Twitter and then type in the hashtag or search Black Twitter, and that
Okay.
takes you into our world of Black Twitter, where
Okay.
just everything under that hashtag is people just going off with their thoughts about the Queen's death. We have some classic tweets that's come out regarding the death that's really helped us love this. We have this one right here where it's like, Black Twitter, Irish Twitter, and Indian Twitter.
Oh, that's loud.
It's all celebrating the Queen's death. Black Twitter to the UK.
That's Black Twitter in the UK?
No, just Black Twitter in general.
Oh, okay.
Black Twitter to the UK. Black Twitter sending that to the UK.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, that's not very nice.
She wasn't very nice. What are you talking about?
I know, but I'm all about talking shit about people when they're here. Why
you
Twitter
talk shit about her when she's here too? Everybody talks shit about the British monarchy. We're just celebrating the fact that she's dead now.
I'm not doing that.
I
know what you mean.
She was ahead of all this when they were freaking killing people in Africa, genocide, stealing artifacts from various countries. It was her.
She ain't that damn old.
96. Not long. 96. 96
yeah,
years
but she
back a long time.
Well, in the 50s, right?
They were
70 years ago. Yeah.
No, but the British monarchy's been reigning.
I know.
Tax the Caribbean islands. Look at all these islands that are being taxed by the British monarchy for no reason. No fucking reason at all. Fuck her.
Yeah. Okay. We'll give you a bunch of quarters for that.
What's been great about this is that so many interesting facts have come out. Do you know that the British Museum has the most stolen artifacts in any
yes.
of the world?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Wait a minute. So I know somebody who just took their kid back to school last week, and in Boston, at a school that will, I don't know if whatever, Harvard,
Mm-hmm.
and they went to the Egyptian exhibit. I don't know if it was King Tut. I was like, oh, wonder how they got that stolen.
Of course, like it's all stolen.
How did it say? I guess this is going to have to be another show. Like, how do you go into some places? That's like me coming to your house and stealing your china. How do you do that?
Because you're the British monarchy. At one point in time, the British monarchy controlled almost what it said, like 1/3 of the world's territories when they were like at their peak,
right? Their height. Is that under Queen Victoria?
I don't know who it was under.
Okay.
But it was under them.
Think it's under Queen
they just started taking shit that they wanted, just took shit, and they continue to take shit. And now what makes it worse is that now that we're in this age of wokeness, and these countries are asking for their stuff back, and they refuse to give it back. They're like, no, it needs to be here so the world can see it. No,
it needs to be home.
It's our shit back, right? They refuse to give the shit back, right? It is ridiculous. You know that huge ass diamond in the Queen's crown that she wears?
Yeah.
Like, that's not hers. It's not theirs.
Where'd she get it from? I mean, where'd they get it?
Like the African country.
Well, no diamond is theirs. They're blood diamonds. My drapes are messed up. I hate that. That drives me crazy. I see how crooked they are.
Your drapes? No, your drapes are fine.
So, I guess King, what's his name? What is it? What's his dude's name?
Who's going to be next in line?
Yeah. What's his name? Lord have mercy.
I don't care about these people.
Charles. Lord have mercy. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah. He said his earliest memory of his mother being queen. He was basically a tot. She came into his room after like a coronation or something. She had the crown on, like the big pomp and circumstance crown.
Mm.
Came in to tuck him in with that.
That is establishing yourself like
Yeah, like I'm
like,
not just
even to
I'm
your
not
child.
just mummy. I'm not just mummy.
Not mummy. I'm the queen.
Mummy. Mummy.
I
I say it like a commoner. Mummy. Yeah.
yes, so the diamond
Um,
is called the Koh-i-Noor. The
it is.
Koh-i-Noor diamond. Yeah.
And whose was it?
It belonged to India, but apparently. Yeah.
Really? There are diamonds in India, or they?
There were diamonds
There
in
were
India.
diamonds in
There
India.
were
Now
diamonds
there's.
in India.
Oh
There
yeah,
were
not
diamonds.
just spices, but diamonds too.
No. They had diamonds, and the British Empire was like, nah, let me get all of that.
Came in, yeah, like yeah, like.
Let me get all of that. And not really even know that they have diamonds.
They're like, Annie up.
There. Yep, and you know their logic is, well, you know, we conquered it, took it during like imperialism when we conquered.
All's fair in love and war.
Why should we have to give it back now? Well, because it was wrong.
Oh my
It was wrong,
gosh.
and you got to give it back. Like you shouldn't have taken it in the first place.
Right.
You know, like you shouldn't have taken it.
Yeah, it's ill-begotten gains.
You know, but you know.
Now, when Prince Philip died, he was that man was still driving. Your bad connection. When Prince Philip died, he was still driving. He looked like he was stuffed with something and just put in a car. I mean, he really looked like he was on death's doorknob.
That's what he was stuffed with.
Allegedly. Oh, and did you hear that Jesus and Mero broke up?
My wife and I had a moment of silence. We literally was like,
I forgot to say something. I read it a while ago. They broke up.
We were like, what?
First the Fat Boys, Sonny and Cher. I'm like, this is how they broke up. So now we can take allegedly. We can take allegedly now.
My wife was like, did Jesus fuck Mero's wife?
Oh, like, did your wife say that?
Yeah. I'm like, no. What is?
Oh, it's some hate. It's something hateful. Something. It's hateful.
But they making money now, and they're like, "Nah, we ain't gonna do this no more." Like, it got to be something.
Right there on Showtime. Like I watched that show religiously. They had great guests. Nothing but illustrious guests. They had
Barack Obama on your show.
Yes, they had everybody. They had Denzel. They had everybody.
Samuel Jackson, David Letterman. They have had Keanu Reeves. They have had
everybody.
From young to old, international, local. They've had everybody. Now they like, nah, and they didn't even make no TV announcements.
No.
Last season of Jesus and Mero, none of that. It's just like, nah, we ain't together no more.
I went to. I think I don't know why I went to go look for them. Like, where are they? You know, like when's the new season coming? Something like that. I was like, Jesus and Mero. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my gosh, what happened? Can somebody? That is crazy.
Yeah.
There was something. Yeah, that was someone betrayed someone, because that's that kind of anger. That, I mean, you could get your bag. You know what I mean? Like, but they were like peanut butter and jelly, man. I mean, I don't even think I think they had a topic and they were just like and they fed into each other so well. Like, I'm very sad.
Apparently,
the Bodega Boys.
They released one statement that said, Mero said, Jesus and I have discussed pursuing separate interests over a year prior to the show coming to an end. And that conversation solidified with us signing overall agreements that recognize our intent to operate independently of each other.
That says nothing. That's a bunch of
says nothing.
Legalese stuff. But when did you read? When was that? That was in June?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw that.
Now, apparently, the word behind the word is that once they basically had some issues with their manager, and they wanted to kind of go separate. Well, one person wanted to leave the manager, the other person wanted to stay with the manager. So their manager's name was Victor Lopez.
Okay.
And Lopez was basically behind their career from the start.
Mm-hmm.
He's even been credited as a producer on their Showtime show.
Okay.
Showtime requested that Lopez stop working on the show due to an accusation that he was abusive towards the show employees. Now, DC
Oh.
agreed with the network decision to get rid of Lopez, but Mero saw the situation differently and felt like they owed it to Lopez to reciprocate loyalty that he had showed to them for years. And this agreement led to an increasingly icy relationship on the set. And then they
Oh.
stopped sharing representatives. DC got another representative. Mero stayed with Lopez.
Okay.
Then they able to smooth things over, and they ultimately decided to chuck the deuces.
So over a dude.
Yeah, over some dude, right? Mero wants to be loyal to this. He chose this dude over dollars. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Bros before hoes, I guess.
Nah, bro. Not at all. Not at all. Not
Yeah.
for $4 though. Bros ain't coming.
Maybe he thinks he's got enough. I don't know. That's interesting. So it's over. I mean, I'm all about being loyal. You got to be loyal, but
Yeah, but if he's over here trashing your employees and making them feel bad, being abusive to employees.
yeah. Allegedly. We need some allegedlys now. Are they gonna come after us?
Allegedly being abusive to employees, and you're gonna stick by his side.
Yeah, I mean it's allegedly.
I don't know.
Is there any video, any bean footage? It didn't happen if it wasn't recorded. It's all allegedly.
Yeah, somebody got to be the one cussing somebody out or whatever. So I mean that's the news, but I think that pretty much is like the height of the news.
Yeah, I think that's that's it.
Yeah. Oh wait, we did have on sports side though what was big in the last week or so.
Serena?
No. Well, that's sad news.
Yeah, she's not retiring but transitioning. Somebody needs to tell her that that might not mean the word that she means. She wants it to mean.
Yeah, I mean she's trying to take it to another level, right? Like transitioning, we'll start using that instead of being retired.
Yeah.
So that was her leaving. It was a good run for the U.S. Open on for persons of color in general. Coco
it still is.
We got Coco made a deep run. She got eliminated. But we have Francis Tiafoe. He is still in and doing his thing, which is great because Francis Tiafoe is a young.
Was that the match that lasted like 3 a.m. the other day?
No, that was last night. That was 2 nights ago. So that was some other people from another country.
Okay, I'm like, or not 3, but like 1 or something ridiculous. They played for like 7 hours. Can you imagine?
Bro, I'm like sitting on a desk for 8 hours. Much less running around playing tennis.
Only thing I do 7 hours straight is
yeah. I'm like, what? Nah, I'm good on that or whatever. We had Nick Kyrgios. I mean, if you follow tennis, Nick Kyrgios is he's a Afro-Australian young man, and he's had all the talent in the world, but he has a very short temper. And,
he does. Is he a mini John McEnroe?
People say he's worse than John McEnroe, but if you compare him, it's about the same, right? And so
they say he's worse than John McEnroe. What is he cussing people out?
He's always been on the brink of greatness, but never really quite achieved it. But in the last year or so, Nick has actually like really started to play great, and he was making a deep run this year. Okay. And he got eliminated, and then he went off. Like he went off after the match. I'm talking about he broke one racket. And then went and got another racket.
He went and got a backup racket.
Yeah, so he went off to do with that. Sha'Carri Richardson, she beat Elaine Thompson.
Yes, and it was a pin drop. Right?
Everybody was so quick to be all over Sha'Carri last year. How she smoked baby, blah blah blah. Yeah, she comes back better than ever. She beat the world's fastest woman. Nobody.
Yep, sure did. She did it like with baby hair popping, lip gloss shining,
nails laid out, like, quieting the haters.
Right.
Everybody's really quiet now. I'm like, okay, she's back on top. So it's cool, man. I like seeing track and field is always a fun thing to watch.
It is. Yeah, it is.
I love watching track and field or whatever. But yeah, I think that that kind of gives us a great transition to what we're talking about today with emotional intelligence. Right?
Emotional intelligence.
Mike. The world was so quick to down Sha'Carri and say all like just kind of go off top and say all kinds of shit to her and talk all kinds of trash to her without even taking a second to breathe, to kind of like understand what's going on, to try to sympathize with her. Because
we don't do that. We don't do that.
Not at all. Because we've seen examples of that all the time when people saw pictures of Chadwick Boseman, and everyone was just going off on how skinny he was. And
Yeah, he's on crack. He's on.
he's on
I
crack,
mean,
all
just.
this stuff, right?
But that was Black Twitter.
That was black. You can get it. Anybody can get it. Black Twitter don't care. Anybody can get it. You know.
Come on, step up and get this ass whooping.
Anybody can get it. You know, anybody can get it. So, like, emotional intelligence is defined as the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in a positive way to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, or overcome challenges and diffuse conflict.
Right. So the reason why this topic came up was my candidate a few weeks ago, who I made the offer to, and she was outraged by my offer and showed her outrage, and then told me that if she were basically accused me of discriminating against her, a black woman discriminating against a black woman, but I'm being used by the man. I mean, I read all this into this. If I were a white man, like I'm gonna make that a t-shirt. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. If I were a white man. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna talk about, so Shane just gave a great definition. So why is it important? So it helps. Emotional intelligence can be helpful when you are having difficult conversations and want to avoid hurting others' feelings, managing your emotions when feeling stressed or overwhelmed, improving the relationships with others, resolving conflict, coaching and motivating others, and then creating a collaborative environment. So there are 4 main attributes of emotional intelligence. Number 1 is self-management. Number 2 is self-awareness. Number 3 is social awareness. And number 4 is relationship management. So how to improve the emotional intelligence skills, like with self-management, the main component is successful. Let's see, hold on. It's being organized, maintaining a clear schedule and a healthy lifestyle are typically the first steps towards improving self-management. Another major component is the hold on, I'm reading, guys, is the ability to overcome stressful situations, and staying organized can help you keep focus on what you need to do. So you can improve your self-management by asking for constructive feedback, knowing your values. And I'm going to stop right there for a minute, because I had a candidate the other day, a young, smart black female, and we just got real, right? We just got real. So, because that's what we do sometimes. And she was saying how she was intimidated during a couple of her interviews. Like she was just intimidated, like. And I don't know the one person that she interviewed with, but I know the other person because I hired her. And so I was like, well, she's a bit stoic. I've heard she has a sense of humor. I have never seen it, because she showed me, she was in beast mode when she was dealing with me. And I said, but that's irrelevant, right?
Irrelevant.
Yeah, irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
I'm like, dog.
You just added an extra syllable. It sounded good. It sounded like it was like, no, that is the word. It sounded like that was supposed to be the word.
Oh, I'm making stuff up. Irrelevant. Because any room, hypothetical, real room that you walk in, you're supposed to be there. You're there because you're supposed to be there.
Right.
And so nobody's better than you. You know what I mean? She might know more, but they're not bad. You're supposed to be there. So anyway, so it's knowing your value. And I think a lot of us don't, like, we think we start off knowing our value, and then sometimes you get beaten up enough, and then you're questioning your value anyway. So learning new skills, holding yourself accountable, practicing being calm. Like, I've been breathing and breathing, because I found that I don't breathe a lot during the day. You know what I mean? Like, just deep,
like take deep
cleansing. Like, breath is cleansing. Deep, like I normally breathe very shallow, talk a lot, don't breathe. Yeah. And then breathing out, like when you breathe out, make it longer than your breath in. So, and then set goals. So self-awareness, ways to improve your self-awareness or work on accepting your emotions. Look for challenges as opportunities, or looking at challenges as opportunities. Practicing your communication skills, recognizing that you have a choice in how you respond. Finding ways to manage difficult emotions. So the choice, yeah, that I always think it like, I guess I and I think how this affects me like this. I have this self-awareness, right? But I think that I'm always um I'm not quick-tempered at all. And I think in our work we have to be nice, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
To a fault to everyone. It's like, you know what I mean? We're in such a service position where we serve others. Um that it just you bought it's I always say it's either out or in, right?
Yep.
And so we bottle it up, but I don't go off on people I don't know. I don't take things out on others. I just keep it in. And I think that it manifests itself in other ways when you do that too. So yeah. So I think you have to anyway, be careful with that.
That definitely transitions like to the Charles Swindoll quote: "Life is
Oh,
what happens to you, and 90% how you
how
react."
you yeah.
You know, I
That
think
always rang a bell with me because I mean, it's like you make how you can control your own, you can't control others, you can control yourself. But and then if you make a mistake or if you like there's repercussions of things that are fleeting, you know, like long-term you know. So I'm always like so conscious about um how I'm perceived, which I can't, you know, I can't control how what
right.
people think about me. It's none of my business. But just wanting to be on point. So I think there's a flip side to that too, but definitely you can control yourself. So, but the other day, when I was mad at Ariel about her messing up my thing, my cleaning lady, the lady that cleans my house, she's not my cleaning lady. I'm sorry, the woman with the cleaning service that comes to my house. I don't want to seem elitist, but I live with some messy folks and a dog, and I'm fighting a battle. And maybe I haven't raised my kids right that they don't clean up after themselves, but I did. One of them does. Ariel does, but and my husband washes dishes. That's all he does. But he'll wash dishes a million times a day. So anyway, so when if I needed to change a week because I was out of town, she doesn't say I'll squeeze you next week. She puts me back in rotation. See you in 2 weeks, bitch. Basically, right? So she had to she had a something that she took off. So this woman works by herself, but she believes in self-care. Okay, she goes on her hiking trips. She does what she needs to do, and she figures it out. And she's happy. She whistles while she works. So she's found
That's not
the
place.
key.
Yeah.
She's found the key to life, and she's excellent, right? So she had something come up, and so she had to push back. So she tells me she comes last week, and it's by this time it's been like three weeks, maybe no 4 weeks because she had to push back, so it made it 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, or maybe 3 weeks, whatever. And so she tells me to get me back on track. To get me back on track, she will come last week and come this week back to back. I was like, I ain't paying on it. So then when she says I'll be there tomorrow, I was like, are you charging me the full price or am I getting a discount? Because you just came last week. Well, I came last week because you left town. No, I left town, and then I suffered the consequences. Right? You didn't do me any favors, right? But now I got to get you back on schedule. I was so mad. My texts, I think they were going to start to get curt, and I was like, okay, no worries. See you in 2 weeks. Have a great evening.
Yeah.
But I mean, hot under the collar. But
I mean, you gotta
usually I'm
learn how to
not.
shut it down, right? Emotional intelligence is heavy because you got to learn how to just be like. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet, and
I bite, but you know what it is? I bite the bullet. So I bit the bullet in half. I
yeah,
bite the bullet so much. I'm always putting myself in check.
I feel that way about being a husband. I think as for husbands, we got to bite the bullet a lot because
Get the
it's always everything about
that's
our society. People say our society is patriarchal, but our society is built on catering to our wives, right?
it is because
Like
my husband did not get that memo.
that is
You know, happy wife, happy life. He's
yeah,
like, nah.
yeah.
He's like, no.
Are you not
He
happy?
listen, let me tell you what this for. He's gonna be in the accountability. He doesn't listen, so he will definitely be in the accountability corner later.
That
No,
is.
he's not. Mm-mm. Some people are here for themselves.
I feel like I always got to bite the bullet because I can argue. Like I really
We never argue. Mm-mm.
I will argue, and I realize that I don't want to argue sometimes. So I'll be like, oh,
No.
I know I'm right, because I know I'm right. My wife will be like, nah, you said this. I'm like, I know I didn't say it.
Oh.
And I'll be like,
The only person I argue with is my mother because
mm,
she is feisty. So I don't argue with anybody else, but she's feisty.
mm.
And you know how you can let it go, like you let stuff go with so many people. I just don't, and I try to let go with her, but then I'm like, "Jeez, Louise."
Yeah, me and
So,
my mom got into it yesterday. Like it was just like no, and then when my mom argues, she likes to like bring up other sides,
oh,
like distract you from the argument.
it's so
And
funny.
back when my emotional intelligence was low, I'd like grab on anything and just like go after it. Nah,
Right,
not now. I've like super saiyaned up on my like emotional intelligence. I've like elevated. So now when I argue with her, like I stick to the subject. Like, no, that's not what we're talking about.
right. And you can't bring up at and stuff that's been settled. You can't bring it up anymore. It's been settled. This is not Real Housewives. We're not going to keep bringing stuff up
Can
all
rehash it.
season.
And that's the
Yeah,
problem I think that a lot of people face when they're at work, though, because they
yeah,
have these unintelligent, as far as emotions go, leaders who will politely remind you of any mistakes you've made in the past.
right,
They'll be
right,
like, well, before when you did this and this, it really
right,
caused concern. So now I'm seeing you going out. I'm like, whoa, why stuff that happened
right.
before? Or like they're unintelligent, like
Excuse me.
they'll just go off at the slightest thing, right? Those leaders have no sense of self-control when it comes to an issue popping up. Something happens
Hmm.
out there on 10, and we're like, well, this is at worst a 5 situation. Why are
Right,
you all the way up here? Like, why are we all the way up here? Why are we CCing the world on how to fix this? Like, this is like, stop CCing everybody
right.
on
Yeah,
like
it's
simple issue. Like, if you have more than 3 CCs on a simple issue, I feel like you are showing lack of emotional intelligence because
exactly.
you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Yep. So, okay. So we went over, we did self awareness. Now social awareness. So, the you can improve your social awareness by learning conflict resolution. So
Mm.
these are things I mean, this is putting into work, right? Practicing active listening, asking open ended questions, showing interest in others. I know it's difficult for some, but you can fake it, and learning how to praise others.
Cool.
And okay, so that brings us to another good point. I like, you know, when you're working, you need a lot. It's you might think you're a one man, wrecking ball, but you need help from others. And so I butter people up. I butter them up because my mom always told me that you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So when I need something from you, or when you do something for me, I am like, thank you. You are the best. You know what I mean? Like I owe you. I'm like, and I mean it, but I just believe in in doing that, not beating people up to get what you want, but making them want to help you.
Exactly. Some people call that charm, that the ability to finesse. It depends on what you use your talents for, right? If you're really good at complimenting, you can finesse your way into and get a lot of things, right? You can finesse jobs, you can finesse relationships, you can finesse whatever you want.
Yeah, you make it seem like a con artist or something.
I'm just saying, like, listen, everybody does not have charm. Everybody does not have the ability to finesse. It really is a skill that either you're born with and that you train, right? Because some people just aren't
I
charming.
don't think you. Well, I think that you can. I I don't know. Maybe I'm not charm. I won't say I'm charming, but I
No, you're
am
very charming. I
polite.
watch you in the room. You work a room like you.
Yeah, but I try to make people laugh because I think I really want to be a comedian, and I think I really want to just go to open mics
Oh, you
and
should
make
go
people
there and
laugh.
do open mic.
No, I would never do that. I'm shy.
Listen, go to an open mic. Take an edible. Go to open mic and
Oh,
have.
please, and just make people laugh because I'm
Yeah, I'm just saying, why not, right? Like, do that.
no.
No, active listening was an interesting point, right? So,
Take an edible.
yeah, I'm saying, right? Active listening is one of those things where everyone talks about it, but I don't think everyone knows what it means or how to active listen. But I think if you think about yourself in like corporate setting, some of the most annoying people show you what active listening is. Like, you ever been in a meeting and someone always repeats what the manager says? Someone Manager will be like, okay, we need to do A, B, C, and D, and I think that'll get us to a great point, and we would grow. and then somebody be like, "Yeah, I totally agree that A, B, and C needs to be done in order for us to achieve the next level." But in
What are you,
reality,
the court stenographer?
exactly. But in reality, that is what active listening is.
Yeah.
Active listening is showing someone that you are hearing what they're saying, that you
Mm-hmm.
are way of listening and responding to another person that improves mutual understanding. You're showing understanding of what they're saying. While people can annoy you with their active listening, but they actually are doing it, and those skills are important in establishing relationships.
But you know what's to juxtapose that with this new world that we live in, where everything is Zoom, WebEx, Teams, Meets, Chat, whatever. It's growing increasingly hard to listen.
Hmm.
Are you finding that, or maybe I'm just getting old?
No, I think it's just a matter of we get distracted easily as a people. Like we live in a very microwave society, and so when
Mhm.
you're on Zoom calls,
I'm not distracted. I'm sitting there looking at the camera, but my eyes, when I have my glasses on and I stare too long, I get sleepy.
that is funny.
I
I've
get
seen it. Oh, our call last week, you were struggling, bro. I want to text you. The next time I'm about to text you, you pop back up. I was like, yo, I was
I
cracking up.
can't, because my eyes, like I can't see, because I can't read with my glasses on,
Yeah,
right? So if there's something up on the screen, I'm like, I can't see. It becomes a blur. Like screens magnetize. I mean, they do. They Yeah, they hypnotize me. They hypnotize me. And one time I was on a call and I dropped a pen and I woke up. Like I can hear, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sleepy. I wonder if they can see how little my eyes are getting. Like I'm so sleepy.
they get some glasses with like a tint on a slight tint, or you
Oh,
can see what you
or
mean.
get
Yeah,
the with the fake eyes.
oh, I definitely get distracted. I have three screens up. And so, like, even if I'm on a call here, I assure you there is some sort of show or something playing on this screen over here
That is so
because
funny.
I cannot.
Yeah, no, yeah.
My
So
ADHD will not let me focus on one thing at a time.
well, maybe I have ADHD. No, I don't have ADHD. Well, but I have a hard time transitioning. Is that a sign of ADHD? Like when
When
you're doing one thing, like I can't move on to the next thing? Like if let's
no,
say if I was
here's
reading
ADHD.
resumes or whatever, and I was like, no, I'm going to read a million of them, Is that
No,
it? That's
because
not it?
for me, like everyone has their own version of ADHD. My mind is constantly going, and so I learned at a young age that in order for me to focus on one thing, I have
Okay.
other things going on so I can focus. Which is why, like, you hear some people like
Oh,
when they read or they listen to music when they study or they like have things playing in the background. My mom used to get on me about that. She's like, "Why you got music playing when you're trying to study or whatever?" I'm like,
yeah.
I need the music to distract
Ariel has the
me.
TV on when she studies,
Yeah,
but
I need it.
I don't know if that helps her.
I'm sure it does. You just
Um,
gotta lock in.
Well, I don't, yeah. My mind is, talk about a mind. It's always going. There's always some crazy thought. I mean, it's like, even like if I took yoga or tried to meditate, like there's always something.
And I
There's
used to yoga for a while, so hot yoga didn't help you kind of like
Pilates.
it was hot Pilates, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did Pilates. But I may start doing yoga because that's really where you're supposed to, concentrate and breath and all those other things. And I don't know. My mind is always racing. Like it's never clear. Like when I get a massage, I've talked to the masseuse and the masseur the whole time.
Funny. I go.
People say they go to sleep. I'm like, oh no, like nope, I don't go to sleep.
My wife gets mad because she's a certified massage therapist,
Oh, I
and
didn't know that.
she likes to like she'll give massages to me because I work out or the kids, and I'll and she'll be like, "Yo," she's like, "Seriously, like you can't."
No, but if all right, if it was my husband doing it, then yeah, I'm sure I would fall asleep. I guess.
Would you?
Yeah, I think I would, because when I had COVID, my back hurt. It was my lungs, and they took turns. I was like rubbing my back because it hurt so badly, and I fell asleep
That's
but I was in pain. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't no, I don't all the things that people think are relaxing are not necessarily relaxing to me. But my mom said, I was like, yeah, let's go get a spa day or something. She said, I don't want people touching me. I'm like, okay, well, that's going to be difficult then. Now, I don't mind them touching me, but I just talk to them while they're doing it. Like, hey, so where are you from? And
Yo, you should send your mom one of those, black touch massages that's online. Have you seen it with like the two guys going massage women? Oh my gosh, these are like,
yeah, that's weird.
yeah, they're like very intense. They're like very sensual, deep tissue massages.
Oh man.
Yo, send that to your mom. Your mom will love it.
She would hate that. I got a massage at a place down the street from me years ago, and this guy was a masseur, but he was leaving to be a firefighter. And he massaged me. He leaned all in. I was like, I still didn't go to sleep. I mean, I was relaxed, but I didn't go to sleep. Afterwards, when he came out, when I was paying, he gave me a hug. That's how, I felt like we were dating after that.
Yo,
like, are we in a relationship now? I mean, he had leaned his whole body into me. I was like, wow, okay. I couldn't sleep though, because I'm not going to get caught slipping. So
a woman was telling me about the massage that she got, and she was like, the massage was so good. And the best part was when he moved up to the ears. He did something with her ears, and she was like, when he did something, when he was.
Those are your I just learned this. Just those are you have vagus points. You know the vagus nerve that goes from your brain all the way down to your sternum.
Nah, teaching me something. Teach me.
All right. So remember how you used to go woosah and rub your ears? That's a vagus point. This is a vagus point right here. Sorry, right here in front of your ear. If you rub it in clockwise.
Yeah.
It calms you. This is a vagus point right here, the tip of your ear. You rub that. But I saw it was the other day on TikTok, because everything's on TikTok. A woman put a baby to sleep by rubbing the vagus nerve. And then I Googled it, and there was a lady who had a whole thing on your vagus nerves, because I think the older that I get, my vagus nerve it gets out of sync.
Yeah.
And that but it controls so much in your body. It's your fight or flight.
Listen, she said that after she did full body massage, and the last part he did with her ears, and she said that he could have done whatever he wanted to after he was done with her. He was like, I don't know what he did to my ears, but whatever he wanted to do to me after that, I was
right. Hey, my wallet's over there.
No, it didn't matter. I'm like, Mom, let me learn that shit. That shit fire.
Yeah, that's your vagus. Yep. It slows your heartbeat. It's slow. Yeah. Google it. Vegas. Yeah. Vegas. It's Vegas, like VAGUS.
I wonder how that would.
So Google Vegas stimulation. But I saw her knock a baby out. A mom knocked that baby out. Like baby was like fussing, rubbing its face. She got to working those ears, passed out.
Do that with some infused shea butter, some THC infused shea butter. I mean, that would be.
They have THC infused shea butter?
I make THC infused shea butter.
Oh, what does it do?
It does whatever you want it to do. It's literally topical shea butter. So my wife, she uses it.
Is that for pain? Like if you have pain or something, joints?
Yeah. Like when my wife gets a migraine, she'll like get some on her fingers and just rub it on her temple. Literally in like 5 minutes.
Okay, I need some of that.
Yeah, it's done.
What?
Yeah. Not even like it is instantaneous.
Wow.
Yeah. And it is great. Like you on massages, like couples use them for massage because it just relaxes your whole body.
Oh yeah, I need that.
Yeah, it takes you to the next level when you guys are interacting. You know, it's very intense. Yeah.
For the married people out there.
For whoever fucking.
No, watch your mouth shape. My mother's listening.
Your mom's okay.
Hey. No, she's not. She's a widow. Don't start about my mother.
You never seen Mr. Jones coming over to the house to spend some time with mom? Mr. Jones be coming up there to hang out. Your mom got you.
Don't talk about my mom and them. All right. Number 4, the last one is relationship management. So you can improve your relationship management by sharing your own feelings, putting yourself in someone else's position, paying attention to body language, imagining yourself in someone else's place. Is that the same thing as putting yourself in someone else's position, and listening to other people? So again, it's the listening. There's some common themes here.
I think that putting yourself in someone's place is a big one, especially with leadership in like your workplace, because you fear that leaders get to leadership positions that forget what it's like to be on the ground working, and so then the slightest thing will happen. And they're like, "Oh, how could you miss this email? Why didn't you respond to this email?" Well, yeah, there was like 30 other fucking emails.
Right.
Like, why are you going to
right?
It's like that's you putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Right.
That definitely. If we could all do that before we respond, I think that goes back to acting.
Empathy.
Yeah,
Empathy.
empathy.
It's empathy. Like, yeah. Um, my my mom said that to me the other day. Like, can't you just put yourself in her shoes? And I was like, yes, but the thing is that I get because I am someone who's I think is a pleaser. I want to please people. I don't want people to be upset. That I take, you know what I mean? You just take a lot of stuff. And so here's the example. So my my neighbor asked Ariel to get their mail while they were away. Did I tell you this? Yeah. So while I was away, like Ariel was collecting the mail in a white shopping bag, putting it on the dining room table, away from everything else. My husband never throws anything away. I have to say that. So I left town. When I came back, and that during that span, the trash had come, and he recycled the mail, and they had something in there, like a priority mail, a check from one of their clients. So I was like, if this needed to happen to anybody, like, like, oh God, I felt terrible. Ariel felt terrible. I let them know. Ariel let them know. Then I'm like, okay. My husband's like, oh my God. Like he was like, I feel bad. I'm like, you should. You need to look deep in your heart and find out why you threw that mail away. Did you think that mail was mine? Or like, did you not look in the bag? Like, I don't, and Ariel said priority mail thing. If he would have looked in it, was right on top. So anyway, they come back, give him their mail. Next day I get a call and I'm thinking, oh, don't tell me somebody cashed this check. Like, because she was going to call. She called her client, tell them to stop payment on the check. And she calls and tells me that it was $30 for the client to stop payment on the check. And I said, okay, sure, I can send you Venmo or PayPal, whatever, or bring it down to you, whatever. She says, no, just pay Ariel. And I was like, okay. Oh, promise me you're going to pay Ariel. I'm like, I will pay her. So I was like, Ariel, I owe you $30. So now I got to pay. Right?
Why is your husband paying $30?
Oh, I didn't even tell him. But I really see it. But I really see us as one. You know what I mean?
Like, yo, you need to run Ariel her $30.
I don't see that as I see this as one household. So if one person buys a $5,000 bike, basically the other person bought it. You know what I mean?
No doubt. But I still want you to do it, though. I still want it all come.
Oh, that would not have made me feel any better. Now, you know what would have made me feel better if I didn't know about it. If he handled it, if he was the one that got the text or had to have the call instead of me, that would make me feel better. Because now I'm like, I have apologized profusely.
Yeah.
And no good deed will go unpunished. And so I was annoyed. My mom's like, why can't you see their way? I'm like, I do see their way, but it's fucking mail.
Yeah.
I got hella mail. Excuse me, like, it's mail. It's not the end of the world. It's mail. It is not the end of the world. Like, and that if that's what triggers you, mail triggers you, then damn.
Was she in her feelings? Was she loud about it?
Oh no. No, she wasn't. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm getting red basically because of the mail. Like now maybe these are feelings that I'm feeling like, oh, I'm incompetent because we can't handle mail. But see, and like if that was me, like I was like, Shane, can you get my mail? And you're like, oh my gosh, we accidentally. Shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens.
Shit happens.
Yeah, it
happens. And so maybe I'm just too. I don't know. I don't know if it's me, but I'm totally empathetic. But a lot of times and maybe here's where I'm wrong is that if I don't think it's a big deal because there's so many other big deals in the world, I think that you shouldn't either. So maybe that's wrong.
Ooh, that's my issue too. My wife thinks that. She was like, yo, you think everybody should react to stuff the way you react. And if you don't think it's a big deal, then it's not a big deal. I'm like, but to me, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not tripping, like something happened, like, laptop, when the kids will break their laptop screen on the computer. So, like, all right, let me just go get it fixed or go get another.
Yeah, because what are we going to do? Just, I mean,
Right, like
oh, do you have Verizon?
on one of my phones I do.
Okay, so I guess this is a shout out to Verizon. They have this plan where you pay like $25 a month and it covers all the electronics in your house.
What do you mean?
If they break,
Any
they
electronic?
TV, phone, electronics,
You have
computer,
insurance for your electronics?
watch. So I've had it for about a year, and Jay, his laptop, his Mac, okay. He got it fixed when he was in Idaho, and it wasn't a Mac dealership, it was somebody else, and they didn't do a good job. So I was like, hey, I remember we got this thing through Verizon. Call Verizon. And if they can't fix, they replace it. They fixed it.
What?
All I paid was $25. The $25 that I pay every month. Yes.
Are you serious?
$25. Yeah.
Why don't talk about that in the streets? I've never heard about that before.
I have it and forgot that I had it. So, but you call them, you call a number, they send you the packaging, you send it in. Now, obviously, you can't do that with a TV, so I don't know what they would do if it was television. Fix it, send it back to you.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm. So anyway,
shout out to Verizon coming.
Yeah, shout out to Verizon on that one. So, all right. So, our accountability corner.
Mm-hmm.
Who's it? Let me do my husband first since he don't listen. Man, listen. Last week. I got food from Little Ozzy's. It's a little Italian place. It's an Italian place. It's a chain in Atlanta, but it's very tasty. I got salmon and spinach over a risotto, and it was super duper yummy. But I was hungry, so I got myself a bruschetta, and I thought, oh, I'll eat the bruschetta or eat it later. So this is Friday. Saturday, I go to put my toast points in the toaster oven, and I'm looking for my bruschetta, and I had already cleaned the fridge out that morning. So I'm looking for for the tomatoes, and I don't see them. So I say, hon, did you see the tomatoes? Did you throw tomatoes? And he's like, tomatoes? I was like, yeah. He's like, no. So I'm looking all over. I'm like, I know it's here because I saw it. And I go into a bag that has some recycled stuff in there. The container that the bruschetta was in there.
Ooh. So not the bruschetta.
No, he threw it away. Maybe. Yeah.
Did he eat it? No.
He threw it out. When he went to go get his guacamole, because they were right near each other. I guess he thought, what is this? This is some trash. But I said, did you see the tomatoes? So was he not thinking diced tomatoes and only thinking the whole tomato? I'm like,
maybe he didn't even look in there. Maybe he didn't register him that it was tomatoes.
I don't know. Anyway, I was plotting his demise after that.
He's on a cleanse, right? And so now he's trying to clean everything out.
Okay.
And so
he's on a cleanse, right?
And so that means everything else has to get like cleansed out, as well.
Yeah, I don't know. So he's on my list. Who else? You said Ghana, remember? For making
yes. So
making
Ghana has done a lot of great things. Ghana has like this Back to Ghana initiative that is like really encouraging persons to come back home, and you get to be a citizen. You get Ghana citizenship. You can get land. Like they have this great festival that Boris Kojo and Nicole Ari Parker puts together every year. That's become bigger and bigger. Like everyone's going to Ghana. Great things, right?
Yeah.
But then they go do some silly shit that just don't understand.
So the woman was the ambassador,
and Sophie Ali.
Is she the French ambassador to Ghana? Right.
She's a French diplomat, and I guess she's done such a great job of being a French ambassador. They love her so much, they decided to make her
a queen.
She's been installed as the Queen Mother of Osu in Ghana, and It's like what? Like, there's no black women that like could have been made with, like.
But they were really feeling her because when I went to go like look for sorry, when I went to go look like Google it, there were a lot of people like we're gonna like she did a great job. We'll miss you. Blah 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 blah. I
That don't
mean,
mean make you a queen. That that don't mean make her a queen though. Like, I'm just saying, you know what? I wonder if these African countries can give like, since they obviously they can just make anybody a queen or give them installments. Why are
right.
they making like famous black like philanthropists and like cultural changers,
Hmm.
queens and kings, right? Like how we get honorary PhDs. Why is
Right.
somebody over in like Ghana giving like Felicia Rashad like an honorary installment to make her queen of something, right? Like why wasn't Bill Cosby made a queen or king,
A queen.
you know, of something, right? Why don't these people who are really change makers? I'd love to see somebody make like Martin Luther King, like honorary, like king or duke of something, like because they do that in Ireland all the time. Or
Hmm.
people are dukes. All these movie stars are dukes and knights and all this shit. Like,
They're knights. They get knighted.
yeah. So why are we in that Africa? Why don't we do something like that? That kind of
Oh.
ties us in, right? Like Ghana, you could have made this really cool. You could have really done something big here. Like you could like king of whatever, knight of whatever, prince of whatever. Right? You did
Hmm.
that. But no, you take this woman and you make her queen of the Osu? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
that's like coming to America. Um. Oh. Nigeria.
Niger. What is
They
Niger?
banned foreign print
Oh,
advertising.
Niger. Yes, that was huge. Yeah, Niger.
Hmm.
They get to come in the corner on a good note. They have made all foreign models illegal in advertisement. So TV, print, whatever. If you're not Nigerian born model, you cannot be in their ads. And I think that's fucking awesome, right? Like, and they're saying that it is to promote uh, growth within their community, to promote, more love of oneself. Because if all your ads in your country are
Hmm.
foreign-looking persons
Yep.
that look like anyone in your country,
Yep.
everyone in your country feel like we're not good enough, right?
Right. And then plus they were buying, oh my gosh, that's the lightning cream. That stuff is bad news.
Listen,
And it's they sell billions of dollars worth of it every year.
yeah, and it's not just the foreign; it's also voiceover artists as well.
Oh,
So
really?
you even have you can't even use like American voice or English voice. No, you have to use Nigerian-born voices, and all this takes into effect on the 1st of October. So it's not something that's next year. They're like,
Right.
nah, this is
Right.
like we have making this happen now.
Wow. They're gonna make Nigeria great
They're
again.
trying to, right? They're trying to because they want to. They're hoping that this will help increase just Nigerian-born citizens being able to
Hmm.
do commercials, um, and just print. Like you got to representation is so important, right?
Hmm.
To see, I heard a great quote. You have to see representation of your dreams. That's why it is so imperative that you see diversity up and down the corporate ladder, so your employees can see themselves ascending into those positions.
Hmm.
That's why it's so important that your kids are able to see themselves in print or in TV, right? That's
Right.
why I'm so jealous of my children in the age that they're growing up in because they are exposed to so much
Hmm.
in what they see, what they interact with, what they like.
You literally can choose
Dude, that's so dope.
what you see and what it's dope, but then it could be it could because you're choosing. Sometimes it's a smaller. You know what I mean? It's you're not seeing the world because you're choosing like this little area, but it's great to be able to see yourself
I'm
in a positive
gonna
light.
tell you, I didn't. My daughter never had a non-black Barbie doll or toy till she was till like 2 months ago. And the only
Okay.
way she got that one was because we bought it for someone for a birthday party, but Amazon didn't get it here late. And so then it came and she was like, "Dad, can I keep it?" I'm like, "Oh." She was like, "That." I'm like, "Ah." She's like, "I'm gonna still play with my other black dolls too." That I'm like, "All right, cool." And
When
so
my sister turned 6, my mother bought her this doll, and it was black, but she was gray. My sister cried. She's like, she's gray. She was charcoal gray.
that's why representation is important
Yes.
because now we can see ourselves in other hues besides.
Right. I was a big Barbie person. I still have my Barbies. My mom still has my Barbies. There was no, back then there was no black one.
There was no black Barbie.
Mm-mm.
Nah, but now
Nope.
Barbie's everywhere, man. Nah, it's dope. I love it. I love it to death. I'm a little jealous, you know. It was cool when my son turned. When my son was growing up, my oldest, there was a point where he had only known a black president.
Yeah.
And that was like so dope. Like in his world, in his mind,
Mm-hmm.
a president is black, and that was like his
Right.
reality. That was his reality. It was his
Right.
moment, and that is
Yeah, it's like when your dad is some wealthy dude or Bill Gates or whatever. You're like, did your dad buy Connecticut today? Like that's normal. Like
yeah, yeah. Like, what pain?
So we already talked about the water. We talked about Ralph Lauren. Um Irv Gotti. So Irv has been doing the podcast circuit talking shit about Ashanti.
Irv.
Like
Now,
why?
Irv has come out and says the only reason he talks about it is because people ask him questions about it. Right? Right. But it's not that he talks. He goes into details that goes
Detail.
that's asked. That's why
Right.
I'm like, okay. Somebody asks, "Oh, why you put Ashanti in the documentary?" Oh man, because she was a big part of Murder Inc. and made a huge impact on the culture, and there's no way we could have a documentary without her. That would have been it. No, you didn't have to go into the fact that y'all were fucking. You didn't have to go into the fact that you were cheating on your wife with Ashanti. You didn't have to go into the fact that you got mad that she started dating you. Like that.
Right. None of that. Right.
Unnecessary.
And so he's got this documentary. It's coming on what?
It came out on BT.
BT. Okay.
BT.
Yeah, he's just kissing and telling. And he was what? How many years older than her? Like 10 years older than her, at least.
That goes back to a whole bigger problem.
Right. She was what? 20.
She was a child compared to him.
Right. He was married. I'm like, come on. And he's gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is one that old man who like his greatest time was in high school. He was like, "Oh, when I was in high school,
right,
I was a state quarterback and I threw 5 passes." Ashanti,
like whatever.
Right? Like it's just I used to hit that.
That's gross.
I used to hit that.
That's gross. And then I know this one interview he was kept calling her B, and then Ja Rule was like, "No, let's not call her because that's his girl."
Yeah.
Let's not call her outside of her name.
They still make money. Yeah, John and Ashanti still do concerts together. They still make money.
Yeah, she was on when she remixed the songs. She was on Good Morning America, and Ja came on for one of the songs. So.
It's one of those things where Ashanti has shown how classy she is by not.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like her silence has just shown you like
right
how classy she really is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because anybody else would be like, "What? Like, where's my mic? Which camera's on? Like that one?"
Not much mouth, right? Like, nah, she ain't gonna say all that. Like, nah.
Yeah, like whatever. Let him. Yeah, him. By her not saying anything, just makes him look like a bigger idiot. So.
It does. And he keeps talking about it. Like, dude, just let it go.
Let it go. Like his glory. Those are his glory days, though. They're his glory days.
That's what people have more glory days. Have a bucket list. Like, have things that you want to accomplish. So your greatest accomplishments aren't behind you, but your next accomplishments come. Like Trish, she's getting ready to go and do stand-up comedy on the edit. Like,
No, I'm not gonna do stand-up comedy.
We're gonna
I could though. I could have a whole skit on just my husband and kids. That would be a whole.
You'd be like the new David Arnold. Like you'd be the female version of David Arnold.
Oh yeah. Go on, get yourself one of these things they call wife or family. They're not for the faint of heart. Yeah, he's funny.
It ain't for the weak.
He's got a great story. I mean, we've been talking long enough, but he's got a great story. Like he literally left rehab and went and found an open mic.
Yeah, you got to find your thing. You got to find your thing. find that thing that brings you happiness. That's important.
Yes, and so I guess and yeah, and when you feel like you're going to say something crazy, take a deep breath.
Yeah,
Woosah,
yeah. Do a little.
breathe in, breathe out.
You think
Um
your children, like we had to teach my daughter that she can't just call people fat. When she was younger, she had this thing about like walking up to people, like her mom, so her grandmother, and like would find like a squishy part of you and would like squeeze it and would be like, "You're so soft. There's so much fat," and just keep
but
squeezing.
that but yeah, that's yeah, but she wasn't
No,
like going to diet. Yeah, she's just being
no, she was. She
Oh,
was.
she was shading them?
It was shade. It was not. It was not fascination. It was shade.
Oh,
It
that
was
is
not. It was. It was.
so funny.
She was a shady little thing. Like she is.
That is
She's a
hilarious.
gymnast, so she has like 0.5% body fat. This little
But
girl.
she was a chubby baby, I bet. Like you were
Yeah,
telling me.
and
Yeah.
she will point out.
Because if babies aren't chubby, they're not cute. I'm sorry. If they don't
She
have
will
some
point out the chub
rolls,
on you though. She is.
little scrawny babies remind me of chicken hawks.
Yeah, they're scary looking. Like why?
Yeah.
I look
Why
like
is that baby so scrawny?
that?
Um, that's so funny. I like the babies with the double chins and the rolls in their
Just
wrists.
rolls everywhere. Yeah, you gotta like lift up the roll to put the powder in between.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely.
That is so funny. All right, so hey, we have got to talk about on our next episode or coming up. I know that you said this. Google and their AI, it's getting out of control.
Facts. Yeah, that's
So
why.
that has to be one of our new uh,
This one
a
take
podcast in the future. So all right, you can find us on
Twitter.
the Twitter,
Two live
Facebook, Instagram,
Two live recruiters.
YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah.
Our TikTok queen, Trish, out here
Oh yeah.
doing her
Okay.
thing.
And then the podcast, just the audio version, anywhere podcasts are played. So Apple
Stream.
Stream,
Uh,
Amazon.
The only place we're not is Tidal. We need to figure out how to get it.
How there is, I'm sure there's a way because when I go to post it, it let like how I was able to do it on Amazon Music and Apple and then one other. I didn't see Tidal. And then the main one, help me, Shane. The main podcast thing. Why am I see this is why I have you do this. What is it? What's it called? What's the main one that we're on? The one
Spotify.
huh? Spot, yeah. But it's the other one and then Spotify. They're owned by Spotify. What is it called, Shane?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's where I post it and then it goes to Spotify.
I thought it was yeah.
Isn't that terrible? Okay.
Old age, man.
I know, but you're younger than me. So
It's a hard life.
yeah, it starts. Yeah. Oh, Anchor. I'm like it starts with an A.
Anchor.
So Anchor. And all right. So today, since it's our inaugural happy hour, so since we've had a hard week, the letter of the day is C and
C.
yeah, Corona. Yes, we have our Corona. Yeah, so that I will crack this open afterwards because I think that they have something you can't drink on camera. Or is,
I've never heard that before.
okay.
Definitely, that's not happening. But there have been many days in that Friday afternoon meetings that my cup has wine in it, or
Really? That's so funny. I think once when somebody was leaving a company that I was working with and everybody was drinking. I mean, I got a beer, but I was like, I didn't drink it.
Yeah. No, I've tried.
I had work to do, so I'm like, that's what
12 because I was supposed to day be wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
So meeting on there about 3:00. I'm like, ooh, this will be a long week.
I worked at a company, Headhunter.net, years ago, and they they're a career builder now because they merged. But we had beer 30, so every day, every Friday by like 2:30, 3:30, we all had beer.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we were drinking. We all just hung out on Fridays. That's at the office. So that was fun.
Yeah,
and I'm still friends with have a lot of friends still from from those fun times. So anyway,
Everybody
all
knows
right, everybody,
we
have a
broke by
great weekend. Shane, you have a great weekend.
Hey, you have a
And
wonderful weekend. You do something great this weekend.
I know.
Do something that you can't really talk about on Monday. That's why I tell everybody. I'm like, make sure you do something this weekend that you cannot talk about on Monday.
Oh, I had a candidate the other day. She finished her interviews by asking, "What's something that you're obsessed with?"
Mm.
Isn't that a great question?
Yeah. Depends on what your answer is, though.
I mean, yeah, but I'm like, it's like thought provoking. Do
Word.
something that you can't tell, man. That you
Exactly.
can't talk about on Monday. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the fun in that? You can't tell anybody.
Exactly. Those are the. What are you talking about? Those are the funnest things.
The
thing
funnest.
you sit back and you're like, I can't believe I did that.
That
You
is so
tell
funny. Well,
nobody.
that
Oh my gosh, those are the inside
yeah.
jokes that you and maybe one other person or just you have for yourself.
Okay. Well,
those are the top notch memories, my friend.
all right. Well, I'm gonna think about that. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Talk to you
Have a good one.
soon. Bye.